May 5th, 2025, east of Hoptarivka village, Kursk region. Russian soldiers believed they were safe in trenches and shelters. However, they were spotted by reconnaissance drones. The 2nd Mechanized Battalion immediately took action, first attacking the Russian communication line with a FPV kamikaze drone. Ukrainian drone pilots destroyed Russian soldiers' communication lines with an attack. Russian soldiers immediately took action and hid in shelters. Russian soldiers positioned in trenches were waiting for FPV drone attacks. Ukrainian forces launched kamikaze drones to attack Russian soldiers. While Ukrainian drones are attacking Russian soldiers' bunkers, Ukrainian artillery is pounding their trenches with 155mm artillery fire. With hours of artillery fire and drone attacks, Ukrainian forces dealt a heavy blow to Russian troops. In this highly planned operation, first the communication network was disabled and panic was created. Then the defense lines were attacked continuously. May 8th, 2025, Ukrainian Army drone unit successfully destroys the attacking Russian T-80 tank. The Russian tank opens fire on Ukrainian soldiers. However, soon after, the tank is successfully hit by Ukrainian forces. The Russian armor successfully evades this initial attack, but it is not finished yet. After the first attack, the Russian tank soldiers panic and try to escape. In this rough terrain, the worst happens to them. While trying to escape, the tank falls into a pit and gets stuck there. There is nowhere to escape now. All these moments are being followed by Ukrainian drone pilots. Ukrainian drones immediately move into action for a second attack. The final destructive blow is struck against the Russian tank, which is no longer able to move. With the second attack, the T-80 tank is completely destroyed. The Russian soldiers could not even escape from the tank. The Russian soldiers lost their lives along with the tank. Ukrainian forces launch a missile attack on Russian trenches near the village of Ozeryanivka. Russian soldiers have no chance of surviving this explosion. There is no mercy in this war. It is complete chaos. The missile used by Ukrainian forces is also a Soviet one. Just one of many times, Russian soldiers have fallen victim to their own weapons. As can be seen from the effect of the explosion, this is a very powerful bomb. May 4th, 2025, Ukrainian troops spotted a well-camouflaged bunker amidst trees and debris, housing a group of Russian soldiers. A rapid assault was launched to flush the Russian soldiers out of the bunker. After the initial assault, panicked Russian soldiers immediately began searching for a new place to hide. Ukrainian surveillance drones tracked every movement of the soldiers and relayed it to the assault unit. Seeing the soldiers panicking and leaving the bunker, Ukrainian troops launched a rapid FPV kamikaze drone and artillery strike. May 7th, 2025. Between April 30th and May 6th, Russian artillery positions were detected in the southern part of the Donetsk front. Russian tanks, artillery units, and soldiers were present in the area. Russian forces planned to deal a heavy blow to Ukrainian troops on the border by increasing the number of artillery and tanks. This Russian position was attacked by the determined resistance and intensive attack of the Ukrainian defense. Russian units were destroyed within minutes with FPV kamikaze drones and counter-artillery strikes. The Russian armored vehicle, which was completely destroyed by Russian artillery among the trees, was also hit by Ukrainian artillery. When the Russian armor was also ineffective, the Russian soldiers inside fled towards the trees to save their lives. But their chances of survival were very small, and they were now alone. Ukraine's defenses are in many ways a testament to their effectiveness in the war, and Russian forces are paying a heavy price for underestimating Ukrainian forces. May 6th, 2025. A drone unit from the Tank Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine successfully destroyed areas that could be used by Russian forces. The targeted areas included ruined buildings, forest edges, and open areas. The aim of this operation was to prevent the enemy from establishing a defensive line in these areas. Ukrainian Army's Biker Squad unit attacked Russian soldiers riding their all-terrain vehicle, ATV, with FPV drone strikes. In recent weeks, many Russian vehicles, abandoned or not, have been destroyed. All these efforts by Ukrainian forces are being made to ensure that Russian forces do not use these vehicles again. It also shows how effectively drones are used in warfare. May 9th, 2025, Russian armored vehicle spotted on the eastern front of Ukraine. After reconnaissance drones spotted the Russian infantry carrier, they immediately launched an FPV drone attack. The drone pilot first attempts to target the engine compartment of the vehicle. After several failed attempts, he successfully hits the target. The vehicle is not completely destroyed, but it is heavily damaged. Ukrainian reconnaissance units detect a faggot missile system inside a building. This highly advanced weapon will be destroyed in just a few seconds. Ukrainian FPV drones attack the building and make a kamikaze attack on the Russian missile system. The Russian missile system, which is quite effective, caused the Ukrainian forces a lot of losses and hard times. A Russian military weapon is neutralized with a small explosive carried by a drone. Thanks to the sensitive observations of Ukrainian reconnaissance drones, many Russian units are detected and destroyed in this way. There are Russian soldiers in these seemingly abandoned ruins. Ukrainian forces, noticing a small movement, immediately launch an attack. This time, Russian soldiers are neutralized by dropping bombs from the air. 4 Russian soldiers lost their lives in this attack. May 8th, 2025, Ukrainian forces launched a massive attack on the Russian front in the early morning hours. Russian army infantry were in trenches during this attack. They could not be detected for a long time in the trenches they had built inside the wooded area. However, a Russian armored vehicle transporting new soldiers to the positions revealed these trenches. The effective artillery attacks launched by Ukraine caused great destruction to the trenches. Dozens of artillery shells came towards the Russian soldiers before they realized what was happening. It was reported that almost 30 Russian soldiers lost their lives in the attack. Reconnaissance drones from the Azov forces spotted the presence of Russian soldiers among the ruins, and an attack was immediately launched on the Russian soldiers who had taken shelter in these ruins. Russian soldiers, shocked by the attack by Ukraine, were seen trying to escape. Ukraine's use of technology in this war continues to cause Russia a lot of trouble. In the final stage, an attack was carried out on Russian positions. It was seen that this position belonged to Russian mortars. Approximately 5 Russian soldiers were observed. After the attack launched by the Ukrainian forces, the Russian infantry, who did not know what to do, saw no other choice but to flee.